Please subscribe my channel Wisdom After 60 and press bell notification. Sometimes, your heart doesn't cry out when it needs help. It doesn't always throb with pain or send you rushing to the emergency room. Sometimes it simply grows quiet. It tires more quickly. It beats a little differently. You feel it. Not always with fear, but with that quiet knowing that something is off. After 70, our hearts, the ones that have loved and worked so hard for so long, begin to change. They've carried us through stress, loss, joy, and movement. And they deserve care. Gentle, attentive care. But here's the truth. Many people miss the signs. Not because they don't care, but because the heart doesn't always speak in dramatic ways. It speaks in small signals, in little moments we often brush off. You might say, "I'm just tired today," or "Maybe I didn't sleep well," or "That shortness of breath is probably nothing." But sometimes it is something. And knowing what to watch for can make all the difference in this video. I want to gently walk with you through 4 signs your heart might be struggling. Signs that are quiet, but important. Please don't be alarmed. This is not about fear. It's about being wise, being informed, and most importantly, being kind to yourself. So pour a cup of tea, sit back, and let's have a gentle, meaningful conversation. Because your heart matters, and it may be asking for your attention in ways you haven't noticed before. The first sign many people overlook is unusual fatigue. Not the kind that comes from a busy day, but the kind that appears out of nowhere. A tiredness that seems to wrap around you like a heavy blanket. Even after a good night's rest, you may notice that small tasks leave you winded. Folding laundry, walking across the house, or climbing a few stairs feels harder than it used to. You catch yourself sitting down more often. You might even say, "I'm just getting older," but deep down, it feels like something more. When your heart isn't pumping as strongly as it should, your body doesn't get the oxygen it needs. And that shows up as fatigue, not just in your muscles, but in your spirit. You might feel foggy, slower, a bit less steady, and yet it's easy to dismiss. You tell yourself you're out of shape, or it's just a lazy day. But this kind of tiredness is different. It lingers, doesn't improve with rest, and it's your body's way of saying, "Hey, something's off." Pay attention to how often you're feeling worn down. Notice if it's getting harder to do things that once felt easy. You know your body better than anyone. And if your energy feels dimmer than usual, your heart could be quietly waving a flag. The second sign is shortness of breath, especially during mild activity. Maybe you've noticed that walking from one room to another makes you pause and catch your breath. Maybe you've found yourself breathing heavier when talking or laughing, or feeling out of breath when bending down to pick something up. It can feel subtle. You're not gasping for air, but you feel winded, slightly uncomfortable, as if your breath can't quite keep up with what your body's doing. For some, this breathlessness only comes when lying down, especially at night. You prop yourself up with pillows, hoping it will pass. And maybe it does for a while. But this, too, could be a sign your heart isn't pumping efficiently. When the heart struggles, fluid can back up into the lungs, making it harder to breathe. It's not always dramatic, and that's what makes it so easy to miss. But if you've started avoiding stairs, slowing down your pace, or sitting more often just to catch your breath, your heart might be trying to speak. The third sign is one most people truly underestimate: swelling in the feet, ankles, or legs. You look down and notice your socks leave deeper marks. Your shoes feel tight, even though you haven't been walking much. Your feet look puffier in the evening. You may even notice your rings feel snug, or your belly feels bloated. Fluid retention is a quiet companion of heart issues. When the heart doesn't circulate blood well, fluid builds up, especially in the lower parts of the body. It's not just a cosmetic concern, it's a warning light. Swelling can also come with a heaviness in your legs, a sense of dragging. And over time, it might even make walking more difficult. Many people chalk this up to diet, heat, or simply being on their feet. But if it happens regularly, especially at rest, or seems to get worse, your heart might be asking you to listen. Check your feet at the end of the day. Press gently on your shin. If the skin stays indented, that's called pitting edema. and it's a sign worth discussing with your doctor. It doesn't mean something is severely wrong, but it does mean it's time to take notice. The fourth sign is deeply personal, changes in your heartbeat. This can feel like fluttering, skipping, or pounding. Sometimes your heart feels like it's racing for no reason. Other times it seems to pause, just for a moment, and then continue on. You might feel this when you're lying still at night, or after a meal, or while watching a show, completely relaxed. And it may leave you wondering, was that normal? As we age, occasional changes in heart rhythm can happen. But consistent or noticeable irregularities, especially when paired with fatigue or dizziness, are worth paying attention to. Your heart is a rhythm keeper. When it starts losing its rhythm, even slightly, it can affect everything: blood flow, brain function, even your balance. Have you felt dizzy when standing? Lightheaded after sitting? That could be your heart hesitating, not always, but sometimes. It's not something to brush off. Monitoring your pulse now and then can help. Gently place 2 fingers on your wrists and count your beats per minute. Is it steady? Too fast? Too slow? Irregular? If you're unsure, write it down and share it with your doctor. This isn't about becoming obsessed. It's about being attuned, gentle, informed, and wise. When we talk about the heart, we're not just talking about an organ. We're talking about the place where love, memory, and meaning live. Your heart has felt the birth of your children, the loss of loved ones, the thrill of laughter, and the sting of grief. It has carried every emotion you've ever known, so of course it deserves your attention. Of course it deserves your care. There's something sacred about paying attention to your heart, not just medically, but spiritually. It is the center of who you are. When you place your hand on your chest and feel its beat, you are feeling the rhythm of your own story. It's easy to believe that after 70, the best we can do is manage, that we should accept aches, fatigue, and slowing down as part of the deal. But there's a difference between normal aging and silent suffering. There's still time for love, for peace, for laughter, for quiet joy. And the heart, when listened to, can carry us gently through it all. Don't let fear silence your instincts. Don't let pride stop you from asking for help. The greatest gift you can give your family is not just your presence, it's your well-being, your health, your laughter around the table, your stories on a Sunday afternoon, your heart steady and strong. If anything in this video felt familiar, if something made you pause, or stirred a quiet yes inside of you, don't ignore it. Make that appointment. Mention it at your next checkup. Tell someone close to you what you've been feeling. You don't need to diagnose yourself. You don't need to jump to conclusions. You only need to pay attention with kindness, with care, with love, because your heart is still beating right now, carrying you forward. You are still here. That means your story isn't finished. So walk gently, listen closely, and watch your heart with the same tenderness you would offer to someone you love, because you are someone worth loving. And your heart, strong, faithful, and quietly sacred, deserves to be heard.